Welcome, Spiritual Mag. Update for July 27th, 2022. A lot is happening out there. A lot is happening. You can participate. The show is always about elevating consciousness, and in some ways, what the heck is consciousness? It's kind of like gravy for a good dinner. Everybody perceives it differently. That's because everybody perceives consciousness differently. Everybody does, even twins. You have about 100 billion brain cells. And they're all connected, and that makes about 100 trillion brain cells. Yes, I have 100 trillion, more or less, brain cells, connections in between my ears, in here, in my head. It's the most complicated, all of our brains, not just my brain, your brain, is the most complicated thing on the planet. Actually, it's the most complicated thing that's ever been found in our entire universe. So you think of, our planet, let's say, so many thousands of miles across, there's nothing as complicated as your brain. And then you just expand it out to the moon and Mars. Nothing so far as complicated as this little teeny space. Your consciousness. So there is no time, there is no space. I know it feels like there is time and space, and I have to keep talking. But there is no time, there is no space, because you don't die. And when you get to the other side, you find out, oh, there is no time and space. It was actually just a chain of events that kept occurring. The future never got there. It was just a chain of events in different dimensions. And everybody experienced everything differently, even though they used the same words to try to describe something, like consciousness. I've been bedside with a person who's deaf-blind, never left the bed. 3 years old. Their consciousness, tactile, olfactory, but they can touch and smell. That's their consciousness. I've also been with beautiful, brilliant people. Their entire body is broken, and they're far more intelligent than I could have ever dreamed about. Their consciousness is not the same as my consciousness, obviously. So, this consciousness thing has to do with Orion, when Orion came, a light vehicle. This consciousness has to do with the Hopi Indians when they would be doing their ceremony in western Arizona. The same consciousness would be used when the Egyptians or whomever worked on the pyramids. All different levels of consciousness in different dimensions simultaneously. Now, Earth is a school. That's a given. You don't die, trust me. 90 to 100% of the people who've ever had a near-death experience say you don't die. That's a big percentage, You keep going. So the consciousness that you have now is what you use when you move on. And consciousness can be determined on what lesson you're currently learning, where you are in the level of learning about compassion and patience for yourself. Well, before you could just figure out what to do by listening to the TV because you trusted the TV. You trusted the news. You trusted the whole thing. You trusted the pharmacy. You trusted the physician. You trusted the government. You trusted the federal government. You trusted the people that loaned you money. You trusted everybody, and you're finding out now a lot of people was a big mistake. You can't trust them anymore. So it means you're kind of wobbly. So now your consciousness has to focus on something, and that's the time where you need to use this ultra-powerful divine device between your ears, your brain, and connect with your mind. Your mind. It's a quantum component, your mind. This is the part that continues onwards. And when you think about it, you don't think about it. All you do is the same thing every day as habit patterns. Like the way I'm sitting here, I'm not thinking I gotta balance myself. I'm automatically doing it. I don't think how am I supposed to put my tongue when I'm saying these words. I automatically do it. So I'm a big stream of habit patterns that are fine motor and gross motor. Rarely do individuals, ourselves, yourselves, do something outside the habit patterns. When you challenge yourself to grow spiritually and elevate your consciousness, and what happens when you do that, the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And that's what you need to do now, because the planet needs your willpower, your ability to focus, and your unconditional love to actually become a person who helps the environment in a community. It's a civilian action that's voluntary. It's a civilian core. So when you meet the threshold of unconditional love for yourself and others, you automatically volunteer and enlist for this civilian core. And this is something that is eternal, because you're always learning things. And you just learn more how to serve others unconditionally. Because you are a spark of the divine. You truly are a spark of the divine. Now, this is your free will. You don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Go ahead, you don't need to do it. If you don't want to do that, don't. Stick in the habit patterns. Stick in the habit patterns, see what happens. Your lessons have become more difficult. You need to progress. This earth is a school. Right now, there are challenges on the planet: food, water, heat. Survival items are addressing many people right now. And those talents that you're going to use to improve yourself are the same talents that are going to be applied spiritually to your physical body, your brain, and your mind. You've heard of a placebo. That's where you take a pill that's a fake pill, but it cures you. That's what the mind can do. That's what your mind can do. You don't need a placebo. Your mind is the controller of your brain and your physical vehicle, and it's all powered by unconditional love that's coming through you, through your heart chakra. When you touch that threshold, you become a civilian core, a volunteer organization that is eligible for interplanetary assistance. Interplanetary assistance, because you've met the threshold for service to others. It's not complicated. Now, how does civilian core work? Let me put it to you this way. It's an interplanetary free will volunteer organization. A repeat of interplanetary free will volunteer organization, initiated July 15th, 2022 by Sam Bell Show. Civilian Corps are individuals like you who serve others while building better futures. I tried to make it as simple as possible. And I'm using the crystal to help put this together. Your applied consciousness and consciousness improving actions will seep directly into the immediate matrix that we're all in right now. We'll elevate consciousness. That's how it's done. When two or more are focused, intentions are purposefully applied instantly. Once our underutilized innate powers, our mind powers, blossom into a robust, larger society of enhanced, ethical, smaller communities. It starts off small, but it grows. It's healing for the planet. Moreover, these enhanced consciousness communities provide super quality learning environments for infants and elders. It's not a for-profit thing. The environment we reside in is going to be the setting that we're going to produce ourselves. Requirements to be active in the civilian corps are willpower, it's free, you get it, The ability to focus, now that's a little tentative, but I know you can do that too. And unconditional love. 3 things you can't measure. 3 timeless characteristics are the foundations for an evolving society. Your society come hell or high water, because if you don't, it's not going to be good. It's up to you, especially now. Who are you going to trust? Do you hold a keen desire to build and sustain a thriving consciousness, evolution of humanity on this planet? So the goals, number 1, highest priority, to elevate consciousness and the resulting quality of life. 2, increase healing applications of the most underutilized resource on this planet, women. That's right, especially with elevating consciousness. They can help the men. I'm not going to butter it up. That's the truth. 3, to stimulate self-initiated or participation in coordinated actions in directly addressing emotional and physical health. Now imagine if a major hospital chain had off-planet beings who would help, who could bring in higher consciousness technologies. How much that would help our society. Number 4, it'd be good to see the billing codes. I like to see the billing codes. Number 4, it'd be like distance healing, probably. Distance therapy. We do distance therapy now online. Number 4, to promote healing in targeted aspects of our communities and improve communication talents for a thriving and sustainable, expanded future for all children. Now I'm saying targeted communities because some places are very impoverished, but with higher dimensional beings assisting, very rapidly the entire planet can transform to a more healthy state. And number 5, to implement the best ethical effort of man and machine, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, and non-local consciousness for community building. That's a big mouthful, I'll repeat it. To implement the best ethical effort of man and machine, artificial intelligence, neuroscience, and non-local consciousness for community building. What a bizarre idea. 6th and last, to demonstrate willingness and coordination with loving higher consciousness beings on and off planet Earth. Those are the goals of the civilian core consciousness. And when you meet that threshold and you go within and you focus, if you have a crystal, you focus with your crystal. For more information, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, or go to our website, sambellshow.com, and go to the web series. You and all your loved ones are always in my prayers.
Neither one is bad, neither one is good. It's just the way God made us.
And where will I go? Is that a question that's
Oh, New Zealand, you'll end up.
in the future, in next life?
But you're not coming back. It's your last life.
This is my last life. And then what?
Then we go to the other side and have a hell of a good time.